Don't blink, it's your boy. Welcome to another episode of Conor McGregor Forever. And you're doing well because having a fantastic day. This is episode 2 out of 4. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I know you guys are excited. I'm excited too. Let's get going. We got episode 2, right? We start with the injury. I thought it was going to be about, I thought the first episode was, no. I thought the first episode ending was a preview for the second episode, but it wasn't. Conor injured his arm itself broke, right? What it meant to be. So I'm gonna be reading the notes, right? As I always do. The injury to the arm apparently is one of the worst injury for a fighter, right? We got the intro, which is again phenomenal. They're talking about how in injury the worst operation in time off. We're talking about 12 weeks, right? For a workaholic, be a semi-old man, because at 26 he's not that old, but still for the sport he is old, right? He's a workaholic. Being a workaholic myself versus time off, it's very weird. It's weird to be such a workhorse and then stop working for whatever reason, but still, you know, he was a workaholic because he started, and it's like, not curing, but it's in this retaliation period, I guess. There's a special word for it. When you're injured and you have to wait a bit, what they called? It's a period. And I'm gonna find it when I'm gonna be done with this video, of course. Fuck, come on. I have no clue. I'm French. And the feeling of, you know, he's feeling depressed, right? He's finding himself. He's feeling like he has to face his demon, and that's classic. Because whenever you have a workaholic in your life, whenever you have somebody that's working a lot, they're probably escaping something. In the case of Conor, he's escaping the reality of, okay, well, I'm dealing with a lot of shit, right? And since I'm dealing with a lot of shit, then I have to face it myself, right? I have to be able to say, okay, well, I'm good on that. I'm good to take care of myself. I'm good to take care of every situation there is, right? It's tough because, again, we later learned that he got into sports and the combat sports to escape that. So I feel bad for the guy, you know. He did get the badass intro, right? That May 2019, he's training at home, right? It's for him, it's impossible to do anything. Even his doctor said, yo, you shouldn't do it. He did it, right? We're talking about, again, mental health, right? It's hard to, you say, Conor is, I feel like I relate to this a lot. He's a beacon of, like, happy-go-lucky. He's always in a good mood. He's always positive. He's always the one that says, yo, you know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Always positive, always smiling. But then when you doesn't smile, you're wondering, is he okay? What's going on? Right? You're here and you go here, and people are worried. When here you're at your lowest, so you should be normal. It's a tough situation to be in, right? He's hard to read, so they don't know if they should help him or not. They want to be too worried about him because, you know, Conor is a prideful guy. Conor is focused more on mental than physical. A interviewer asked him, "You think physical has something to do? Do you think the sport is more physical or mental?" And Conor says, "Oh, it's 100% mental." And you can kind of see it because Conor likes to play mind game with his opponents. He likes to play whatchamacallit. He really enjoys playing mind games. So for him, mental, the game, the taunting, the teasing, the back and forth, the mental preparation, the visualization that we're seeing a lot in this episode is super cool. And we're starting at a low point and we're going to end up at a high point. So to be something I'm really, it was a really good episode, to be honest, right? Like I said, he started the combat sport to fight emotion, right? He thought they were weird because he didn't know if he was supposed to feel like that. Didn't know how he was supposed to feel, right? He feels way better now, way stronger. Not as a champion now that he's a, whatchamacallit. Like he's a champion, he's a legacy. He accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. We're going to the baptism of his daughter, right? And it's cute because when his daughter, she gets baptized, she makes a noise. And McGregor is laughing. You can tell he's a good dad. We got a nice little party, and even at the party, he's talking about fighting and how he missed it, and you can see that it's an obsession. That's not in the documentary, but I saw an interview. He was doing it in an interview. It was super cool. He was talking about how Van Gogh lost his mind painting, right? They said, I don't care if I lost my mind. I love my family taken care of. I don't care. So I thought it was really fucking cool. How people are worried because, exactly, it was usually so positive. It really might have caused a potential fight. It's hard to say because it's always a if situation. But there was talk about a fight, and then the talk died down. Now that they knew they was injured. And then again, I think Donna really likes Connor. So knowing that Connor is injured, he wants to protect Connor, and he knows that if he talks about the fight, Connor won't be able to say no. It's not in his nature. So he's trying to help Connor by saying, "Yo, I'm not gonna talk about the fight. The less he knows, the better it is. I don't want to torture him, right?" It's kind of crazy because 5 months after, he lost the feeling of a large crowd. He forgot about it, right? How he still wants to fight the right fight, not for cash. So he's talking about how it's done with cash, and at this point he's talking about fighting for legacy. But at the point it's just for fighting. It's just he's addicted to the sport. He's addicted to this love, right? It's like a workaholic. You take a workaholic and say you don't can't work. Usually what you're gonna do is I'll work for less money. I'll work harder, right? It's a coping mechanism when you're a workaholic to want to work no matter what. Like, at first, yes, you're doing it for greed, you're doing it for monetary reason, but then you realize that you love the work. Like, I'm gonna be talking about it in a video. Like, the job I have, I love it, but we're gonna be ending sooner than I thought, and I feel weird about that, right? Fuck, I'm not ready to talk about it, but I'm gonna make a video otherwise. Rely on fighting for cash, for planning about Connor fight, right? Connor is big enough to not to have to rely on fighting. They're talking about how he can have like his sports drink, his company. He's big enough to have his own company and to be his own brand. He doesn't have to rely on fighting, so why would he fight? And it's always knowing when is the right time to quit. Like I said yesterday, you either die a hero or you live long enough to be your villain. Right now, Connor's a villain, right? Sadly. The crowd again, right? The interview talking about how he changed, right? Depending on how is the surrounding with people, and it is super important here because again, the fight with Khabib was hate, and the fight with the next opponent, let's just talk about it right here, Cowboy. Always positive about it, right? People are drawn to him. You can really tell that if people are drawn to him, he's charismatic, right? You have a cute relationship with his wife because he's making jokes and they're both laughing, and you can tell that they've been together for a long time. You can tell that they have this high school sweetheart kind of love. The whole persona from zero to hero, again, he went from having nothing to being everything, right? And that's super, super important. He's relatable, he is himself, he is somebody that we know. We see Connor, and we see a friend, we see somebody that we make jokes with. He's a super charismatic guy, right? He was, and here is what I love. He was doing some talking, some speeches, some convention for a young Irish kid, and the Irish kid, they were like, "Yo, Connor is where we're from. He's an Irish man too." So of course there was this love, there was this inspiration, there was this relatability here, which is super important, right? The McGregor effect, how economic effect, people are following him. He's this world star, he's this superstar, and people, they want to be around him, and they're willing to do everything to be closer in spirit and in person to Connor, right? It's kind of crazy. It's like that's the problem when you're too charismatic. People, they want a piece of you. It's kind of nuts. It's really nuts, right? He's back no matter what. On Ukrainian news, he announced that he's back no matter what. He's talking about Donald Cerrone. Now, Donald Cerrone, I never heard of him, right? But people, they say he's a good matchup, right? Some people, they complain that he's not the same as Connor. He's weaker than Connor. But then you got some nice footage of Cerrone, and again, the documentary is so good. Cerrone is fighting, and you can see that he has some good moves. So in your head, you're like, okay, well, if Cerrone is good, then he might be good versus Connor, right? And multiple win. He has a good mentality. He has 21 wins, 15 technical. So I don't know how much it is, right? I don't know how important this number is, but if they wrote it, it must be good. Or they would have wrote it, right? Well, fast forward to 10 weeks before the fight, right? Connor fight and how it is to be fully committed because, again, it's so far away. He's not fully committed. He doesn't feel himself fully committed. I think there's a fear also that he knows how much right onto this. He hasn't won in years. He just lost to Habib. So it's hard. Howard's before coming in. So really more trainer care about Connor, right? He talked about how Connor's like a little brother. It shows humanity. It shows that he cares about Connor, and Connor people around him, they have to care about him. I see so much celebrities. I mean, people in their life, they care about money, about fame. They don't care about the person itself, right? And it sucks. So Connor having those people is good. We got 6 weeks again. He's back to being hungry, right? He's training specifically for Cerrone, so Cerrone has to have a high kick. So we gotta go and meet the high kick. The problem with Cerrone is he's taller than Connor, so more reach, right? It's gonna be harder for Connor, more especially for Cerrone, as a more calm mindset, but than with Habib. Yeah, it's nice because again the mindset was playing a role. Connor is saying about how he's affected by the bad side of the cap. The cap is different. The cap is better, right? It feels good because the loss changed him mentally of being an honest worker, right? He felt bad, and that's amazing. If it's true, there's a chance that it's not true, but I want to believe in it. It's like, yo, I let the people down. I let the people that came for me, that came to support me, I let them down. I tapped out. I should have let him TKO me. I tapped down like a wuss, and he feels ashamed of that, right? And he's not ashamed because he gave up. He's ashamed because he let people down, which is a beautiful quality. Our mentality can cost a lot. Mentality camp is different, right? There's no hate. It's only you're gonna see whether you gotta see it later on how we talk about the relationship or the chemistry between Cerrone's and Connor, right? We got the old footage with the trainer talking about knowing his trainer, caring about him again. It's a lot of people that cared about Connor, that gave Connor a chance, that gave him everything he owns, everything he's fighting for, right? And he's feeling and love it, feel he belongs, the importance of hard work. So basically he's talking about how he feel like he loves it, he feel like he belongs in the training camp. Feel like everything that he does has been there. And there's also a part of Connor that feels like he owed the sport, which he does. So by owing the sport, he's gonna give himself, he's gonna kill himself doing it. Not killing himself, literally, but figuratively. Of hard work picture of him singing with the UFC, right? It's kind of cool, like, we got his first contract with the UFC. We know his first fight was $60,000, right? So it's kind of cute, right? And again, it was the blueprint of the UFC. So this is history right now, and this is super important because it showcased like, yo, this is the humble beginning of the UFC, and the monster it is today, right? Annihilation, how he already had a reputation. So Conor had a reputation before his first match, and that's why they signed him. And after his first match, they say, yo, your reputation talk, and you did good. You did what I expected of you. Then, first of all, Connor, how he had faith in him, how he was like, yo, this kid, I can make him into a star. I can make him into something if I can just make him into a artist that people love. I'm gonna take the sport so much. So, Dana was investing in Connor, which is important to know, right? His faith for him with his sport, how even then Connor was funny, right? He brought MMA to Ireland because in Ireland UFC was not super popular, right? We're talking about the Irish root, how I was super proud of being Irish, being a forebearer, and you can see that Connor, he really cares about Ireland, and he really cares about being the one that paved the way. Talking about paving the way, right? And he paved the way for other fighters. For I was trying to say, yo, Connor is one of the biggest sport, and he's one of us. You know, that's kind of cool. That's right. He cares about the fact that to help that somehow. What? I wrote Nicholas, but he cares about the Nick and the fact that he helped. Yeah. So he's talking about how he's able to help. He's gonna see like he's gonna be old, and he's gonna see the young people from Ireland, and he's gonna know like, yo, I did something here. That's part of me. Part of me did something here, right? I'm proud of what he paved. He cared about, right? Connor was also relatable. He shaped the scene, right? He cared about the unknown. He cared about Ireland. There's a sentiment of he wants the Ireland to win, and he can say, "Yo, why can't the other people not know?" Right? But it's also about how he Yes, it's patriotism, right? There's a cool scene of another like Irish man he's fighting, right? And it's kind of cool because Connor is so proud of him. He's jumping in the octagon, and the security they're checking him down. They're putting him down, right? And the other guy, the other fighter, he runs to Connor and he hugs him. That was super cool, bro. That was amazing. I really, it meant something to me, right? Saturday before the weigh in, right? I've weighed in, right? You hear how he feels. He feels good. He feels autographed. It feels like it's starting. It's official now because it's way too late to come back. A lot of time the fighters are gonna pull out and say, "No, this not fight. It's not for me." So now it's too late for that, right? If you're saying lots of pressure since he lost like a beat, you know, it's one of his last chance to prove himself because there's only so many fights you can lose in a row for people to be like, yeah, you're no good anymore. You're not good anymore. You're out of luck. You're shit out of luck, right? And I remember something important. Okay, I know deep down I know we fall apart. A hair in my mouth. I know feels so weird. I was gonna rhyme for that, but I didn't know how to rhyme with weird, which is odd in itself. Ash has to prove himself. The counter mindset is Gucci. I don't know what is Gucci. I mean, it's good. He promotes the shit out of it. You see him speaking in Spanish, going to places, speaking of where he can fight, watch a match, and you don't see Cowboy. So it does show that I'm promoting more, but without knowing that what Cerrone put in, we don't know. We don't know who promoted the fight more. So you see, behind the scene, how we fumble in interview, and he wants to redo it, and it's kind of cool because that shows a perfectionist, right? He's been asked about the strategy between behind the loss, right? Is getting back up is super important, and Connor's like, super important, this is my last chance. I'm super humble, super happy that I get to fight again, right? He said that you have to give it all up to get it back, right? A great mindset because again, he's in a place where it's like, bro, he's in a place where he had it all, and if you never had something and you lose it, you're like, holy fuck, I never had it. It doesn't matter. If you have something and if you never had something and you want to get something, you don't get it. It's one thing, but if you have something and you lose it, it's another thing. It's much more serious, right? We got the face-off, right? It's super cool because we're seeing Conor respect Cowboys. There's no bad blood. It's all about the sport. And Cowboys, which I never heard of, kind of care about him, kind of like him because he's like, yo, it's all bad blood. There's no feud. There's no like talking shit. It's only two professionals wanting to fight. And Carter says he respects Cowboy for being there, for not giving up, for giving him a fight. And Connor's Cowboy is like, yo, I respect the son of a bitch in this chair right now. And he calls Connor like a son of a bitch. He's not in a mean way. It's just like he's referring to him as like, yo, he's one of us, right? He's one of me because maybe he feels like there's relatable, so that's why he's pushing Connor because he's like, you're one of us. Yeah, I'm gonna tease you a little bit, and you see Connor's agreeing, and it's really cool because again they're like, it's only a sport at the end of the day. We could maybe went too far, like from boot camp, right? So hey, just to pro positively from McGregor again. He's with the family. It's a super cute moment, right? And he said that how it's tough to be away from the fam. It's tough to be always training, always out. But then you see a scene, there's a cute scene where he's fighting, right? And his son is crying, and you can see that Connor really likes his son. And he tells his son, I have to work, you know? Which is something my dad said to me, too. Super cute moment with fam. Tough being away from fam. Enjoy challenge, Cowboy. Great mindset. He feels invincible right before, right? It's about the legacy. It's about proving himself. He's visualizing the fight. He's visualizing how it's gonna go. It's kind of cool because you got an interview before the fight and how he feels about the fight, and then you enter the scene. As you enter the scene, you hear the interview of the fight, right? So, sorry. It's one quick fight. It's super positive for Conor. Like a minute. He beats Cowboy, which sucks for Cowboy because again, you train for the fight and then you lose so fast, right? No description because I'm not an expert. And besides, I'm gonna explain to you guys a 1 minute match. 1 minute match. Come on. The fight is POV celebrating. Even Dana is super supportive, right? You can tell. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, Dana kissed Conor's ass," but and I don't like Dana. I don't like him at all. But and again, Conor was one of the first fighters, so of course, there's this, like, yeah, I gave you a lot, but you gave me a lot too. There's this feeling of mutual respect. Hard work pays off. He thinks of team. He thinks about how he's able to provide for the team, family, and how, he's a good person. He cares about his people. What he gives them, feel blessed, very happy, very emotional, right? You can see him crying for how much it meant to him. He loved the sport, right? Motivation through everything, right? He thinks about his son. He's like, yo, I want to see how Junior thinks of the fight. I can improve. And of course, his son doesn't know the fuck he can improve, but he cares enough to say, maybe my son has some comments, and he's curious because he loves his son. We're seeing a moment with his family, with a crocodile, right? And it's kind of cute because, it's a moment with the family. It's not something a lot of people would do, but it's a Connor, so it's different, of course. Because then we're moving to the 2020 COVID. I'm gonna take the sport, right, which is a contact sport, and it's huge, and we don't think about that. And at this point, Connor had enough money to do it, but still, that's it. I feel bad because he gave his life to the sport, and the sport says, yo, we don't need you, and it's not because you're not good, it's because of the COVID. So I can imagine being in this position. What a cool piece. It's a cool piece of time in history. Like, yes, when we're everybody that's watching this video, well, hopefully, they remember that COVID and the lockdown and everything, but it's a part of history. It's how it affected. When I talk about COVID, I would never talk about contact sports, but then again, it makes sense. Right, and helping. Here's April 2020. Connor have a chance to give back. He's buying a lot of masks and he's giving them all up, and he's talking about how one for all, all for one. It's kind of cute, bro. It's humble. You look at the Connor today and you can hate the Connor today, but you're seeing this and you're like, he's a good dude, right? He feel like he has a duty to people because he can't give back and he has to give back, right? When he didn't have a chance, a lot of people to give him a chance. Now he's able to give back and he wants to, right? Mask on for all. He can the COVID give him a chance to self-learn. Like we're talking about the beginning of the episode, how not working, putting for tough mental health, and this time is the first time he's alone. He's not working and he has a good mental health, so that's fucking blessed, right? A cool piece of history here, April 2020, giving back and helping with masks for all. Yeah, cool. What? He's not being able to fight. Could have sold, but said fuck it. Oh, he could have stopped, but he said fuck it. He could have stopped there because again he had enough cash, right? Then I was working on stuff. June 2020, we got a Fight Island, right, which is a bubble of Corona. The fighter could come in, could come out, right? They would fight, and it would be on the island. If there's nobody in the island that is positive and that has symptom, then you're free, right? And nobody's gonna ever have symptom because it's a controlled environment, right? And it's an old island, so it was the only island completely safe. Of course, Corona motivated to stay focused, slip back to mental health, right? He doesn't contact him, and he wonders why. This was even a talk from his team asking, why am I not getting fight? Why am I... What's up, right? He wants to fight no matter what, and that's how the episode ends. And it's tough. It's really tough, right? So yeah, so this is the episode. Absolutely phenomenal. Loved it. I have to go because I'm starting to work in a couple minutes. Well, I'm gonna have to take the bus in a couple minutes. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. And on that note, peace. Fuck you.